And then finally, our main event of UFC on ABC3, we have Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. This is going to be a good scrap, and that's just the bottom line. This is going to be a really, really good scrap. Both guys are very content. Standing on the feet. We saw Brian Ortega put on a really, really good performance against Alexander Volkanovski until he did. But if you're able to stang and bang with Volk at this point in his career, at this point in Volk's career trajectory, I mean, I think that is a big notch in your cap. He didn't land a ton on Volk, but he did definitely have his better of some of the exchanges when he did get Volk on the ground. I mean, listen, he grabbed Volk's leg, gave him a straight left, put Volk on the ground, and then tried to capitalize with some grappling, which, he had gotten Volk in some very precarious positions. And I think Brian Ortega is probably the owner of being the closest to getting Volk out of there outside of that second Max Holloway fight where Max Holloway dropped him twice. I think Brian Ortega, he's a fighter. He had a really, really good close fight with who I think is potentially one of the MMA GOATs in Alexander Volkanovski at this point. I think this absolutely came. I think this fight is a shoe-in for fight of the night. I never understood that term shoe-in. Like, I don't know if it's like shoe, like shoe away, or shoe, like he's got one shoe in to be it. So that's just an interesting side note. But Brian Ortega, really good fight with someone who I consider to be the GOAT in Alexander Volkanovski. He has solid stand-up. He has a great Brazilian jiu-jitsu game, especially when it comes to his submission ability. He's still pretty young. I think he's only 29 or 30 years old, arguably entering his prime. He's got really, really great experience and a strength of schedule. His only losses are to Max and Volk, and I don't think that that's going to change. He's not going to lose versus submission, and I think he's vastly more experienced when it comes to 5-round fights. Looking at Yair Rodriguez, he is a fast striker. He is very dynamic. He's long with really good kicks and different kicks. He will throw kicks from all different angles. He'll hit you with a side kick. He'll hit you with a question mark kick. He'll hit you with a standing side kick. He's been in the UFC for a long time. He's still getting better, still improving. He's training and focusing a lot on his Brazilian jiu-jitsu lately, but when you're going against a guy who is as well-versed as Brian Ortega is, that may help you for a short period of time. But if he's not able to get up, eventually Ortega is going to drag him into deep waters, as Khabib likes to say, and he's going to find a way to put him away if that's truly what your weakness is. I will say for Rodriguez, he's got wins over Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners like Zombie, like Alex Caceres, and like BJ Penn. So it's not far outside the realm of possibility that he is going to be able to get it done. But I just think when it comes to the feet, Ortega is going to be able to stand with him at least for a little bit because Ortega's fought better strikers than Yair Rodriguez. So he's going to be able to, barring a crazy event or Yair Rodriguez coming out there and looking vastly more improved than he did even against Max Holloway. Barring one of those events, I think Brian Ortega is going to be able to handle himself on the feet. And then when it gets to the ground, I mean, it seemed like it'll be just Brian Ortega playing with his food to a certain extent. Yair Rodriguez definitely has some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in his back pocket. I don't want to understate that, but when you're compared against a guy who is potentially one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the UFC today, that's not going to get you a whole lot closer to winning the fight. So with that being said, Ortega is far better on the ground while he's able to be competitive at the very least in the stand-up game. I don't think Yair is going to be able to KO Brian Ortega if Max Holloway wasn't able to, or if Volkanovski wasn't able to. I don't think Yair is definitely not going to be able to submit him. And winning on the judges, the scorecard is going to be challenging if Brian Ortega is able to take down Yair Rodriguez and stay in top position, stay in a dominant position, and throw up those submissions. That's making a decision win for Yair Rodriguez even more of a challenge. So when I'm looking at this, I just don't see how Yair gets it done. Brian Ortega, of course, is going to want to get in close to be able to get it to the ground, which is going to make it harder for Yair to get off those kicks that make that bring his entire fighting style together. So I'm really worried about this one for Yair Rodriguez and his betters. I'm going to take this one on a third or fourth round submission by Brian Ortega. So yeah, going Brian Ortega on this one. So while we have went through all of the fights on the main card, it'll be my opportunity to run back through our main event or my picks for this entire card. And check this out, guys. Instead of playing our normal rock, I'm gonna play